Da da da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes, get those notifications out. In the meantime, if you've never met me before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And I actually put a title in my podcast today, even before I go live. Usually I let the moment take me and we go off, and a word always shows up, a lesson always shows up. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I need to go for a walk. It's pitch black out there. I'm going to stay on a main drag. I'm going to walk safely, but I'm just going to walk a couple of miles, get a cup of coffee, walk a couple miles home, get some fresh air, because I've been in the house all day in my struggles, right? And we all have struggles. But just like my title says, failures make perfect. Today I came in. I haven't been happy with the sound in my podcasts lately. I don't know if it's all my gear that's plugged in, if it's a fan and the air conditioner, if it's just my laptop and the way I piddle around with that. I have a microphone. I don't normally use it. I am not technically inclined. But today I spent a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours, in getting it set up again. I thought it was broken, right? It was just kind of sitting here as what do you call that? As a prop. As a prop. It looked good in the thumbnails, right? I didn't know how to work it properly. It was always messing up on me, right? I was going to donate it to Goodwill. I'm glad I didn't, because today, in spending those couple of hours and sorting out my sound issues, I sorted out my sound issues. I got to spend a little bit of time in my settings on my laptop and actually figuring out a few things besides the microphone. It was kind of like the bonus gift. Fix the microphone, you get this too. And that's exactly what I did. Melvin, oh my goodness, what a gift you are to me tonight. Give me 1 second. I have not seen Melvin in forever. So we're just going to take a little bit of a breath from the topic of conversation, and I'm going to say hi to my Melvin. Oh my goodness. My neighbor's dog fell into my septic tank 10 days ago. I found him this morning, still alive, and we pulled him out, and he seems okay. Oh my goodness, what a miracle that is. He hasn't had anything to eat in 10 days. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess he might have had something to eat in 10 days, but oh my goodness. Melvin, you're a hero. Oh my goodness. I have missed you so much. I have missed you so much. How have you been doing? Melvin kind of disappeared on me a couple of months ago. And after not seeing him for about a week, I got super nervous. I started asking around. Melvin, I sure would love it if you would message me on Instagram and give me your email address, because I actually went into my address book in the hopes that I had your email. You guys know I hand out Christmas cards and stuff if I have your address. So if you want a Christmas card, right, make sure I get your address. But oh, Melvin, I was so worried about you. And then you popped in just for a moment because, right, you took up half my live that night when I noticed that you were there. But as fast as you came in is as fast as you left. And I haven't seen you since. That was a couple of weeks ago for sure, maybe 3 weeks ago. Melvin, I am so happy to see you. So happy to see you. Oh my goodness. That's a reward, right? Work on this. Put the effort into this. And there are always, right, successes in that. There are always little gifts it's always in that moving forward, right? And in stumbling and in making mistakes, we get little gifts. And the little gifts is, right? Let's hope that my sound is good tonight. Melvin, can you let me know if the sound is okay? I would so much appreciate it if you would let me know if the sound was okay. I'm going to carry on. And if it doesn't work out for me, I still got my gift. I still got Melvin in my life tonight. I'm so glad you're well. I was so worried about you, Melvin. I really was worried about you. Don't put me through that again, right? Oh, excellent, Melvin. Truly, I was really worried about you. I was really worried about you because you are usually pretty consistent in popping in and at least saying hi, right? Now I know you're not as regular as I thought you were. And so I'm not going to have those panic attacks like I had a little panic attack when I didn't see you for all that time. And I'm so excited. The sound is good. Melvin says my sound is good on my live tonight. And also in that, I took my own thumbnail rather than searching through my podcast and just taking whatever, right? I'm like, right? That would be my thumbnail. And I said, okay, that'll work, right? And this way, before I come in live, I can take my own thumbnail and upload my own thumbnail. And that will make things so much better for me. Again, and it's in our failures. And I failed in that. Like I said, it wasn't coming into my settings. And after 5 minutes, I had a microphone again. No, I had problems and issues, but I didn't give up in that. I just kept pushing buttons. I kept experimenting and trying things out. And I've got a microphone. And let's hope that we don't have these sound issues again for a while in my podcast. That's not the only failures I had today. You guys know I'm going on my trip in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. I will be on the road on my annual sabbatical that I do every year. And for the past, oh my goodness, I'm going to say maybe 7 years now, my sabbatical has taken place in Ontario. I just love the Ontario provincial parks. I love driving in the mountains. I love driving along the lakes. I just love Ontario. And I've chosen it, right? I've chosen it as my destination every September. And every September, I go on a little trip. While my sister had congenital heart disease, she had to go in for a life-saving operation, and she rocked it. She did absolutely amazing. But in that process of waiting for the operation date, worrying for her, right? Because in the meantime, she is still ending up in the hospital once a month and almost dying. And it's just been a really bad situation with her. And so I had lots of concern for my sister too. And then also, in not having a job that puts the roof over my head in the moment, right? I didn't think I could truly afford it. But it seems that if you just move towards it, if you just set your goals, you have your dreams, and you just act like they're happening, right? It just doesn't mean sit there on your haunches and go, I'm waiting, bring me my miracles, bring me my trip. No, you have to work towards them. You have to move towards them. And it doesn't mean you have to do it perfectly. It doesn't mean you have to meet them 3/4 of the way or even halfway. You just need to start moving towards them. And so I said, okay, my sister's good. She flew through that operation. Okay, I got a little bit of money. Yeah, I got to dip into it for house bills and stuff, but we'll figure it out. We're going to move to, and it's just been click, 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 right? I got a vehicle. I got my campsites paid for. I've got a babysitter for my cat. And I got such a great babysitter. My cat's going to go on holidays too because my brother-in-law absolutely loves my cat. And so I don't have to worry that somebody's just coming in once a day to fill up the cat food dish and then disappear because my cat loves love more than she loves food. And that's the truth. And so I wanted somebody to love on her. My brother-in-law, Tom, will absolutely love on my cat. So my cat is going on holidays too. So the cat's taken care of. I think there's enough in the kitty to cover the gas because my sister's lending me her vehicle and she's just driving a little car. Let me just check with you, Eugene, saying, uh, hello, I'm doing great tonight, Eugene. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for popping into my live. Melvin came in today. And actually, Eugene was here one night when you popped in for 1 second and were gone. And I yapped about you the whole time. And Eugene can attest to that. Like, I missed you so much, Melvin. Don't do that to me again. Make sure you pop in every once in a while. But what a miracle that you found the neighbor's dog. What a way to pass away, right? That was a hero, and I hope God rewards you with something amazing coming into your life, right? You were moving towards, I'm sure it was just an accident that you happened on to the dog, but what a miracle of an accident, right? And I bet you found a new friend, right? Right? That dog is learned some lessons in that process, I would help. And he would appreciate life so much, right? Maybe he'll stick a little bit closer to home from now on. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine that. Yeah, absolute miracle. What a story to tell, Melvin. Okay, so in that other failure that I had today is, because I'm going on this trip, I listed a whole bunch of my possessions, a whole bunch of things that I picked up when I was working in that little thrift store, and I thought they were so cheap that I would get so much use out of them, and never did. But they were nice, and even though I didn't need them or I didn't have room for them, right? Somebody does. So I didn't need them, so I listed them. One of those items was a beautiful little sewing machine. I picked it up, I think, with my staff discount, it was under $20 for sure. It was in like brand new shape. It's been sitting in the bag beside my chair here, just taking up space. I was planning on learning to sew. I don't even know how to use a sewing machine. I know nothing about sewing machines. But I thought, that'd be cool. Maybe we'll get a little sewing group in this building together, and we have a little rec center downstairs, and right, I could learn to sew. That would be so amazing. Maybe I'll sew some more curtains. Maybe I'll sew myself a dress, right? Maybe I'll sew patches on coveralls like I've been doing by hand, taking hours and hours and hours of time doing that, and then just be able to do it in a few minutes with a sewing machine. But I never even took it out of the bag. It sat beside that chair for a year. When I was looking for things to sell, I just kind of leaned over. It was there. I totally forgot that I bought the sewing machine. I went, oh, score. That'll be a big pile of money for that one. That's a big pile of money for my trip. And I put it up for $140. Well worth it when I researched it. They're going for $200, $250 used, right? Mine is like in perfect shape. I thought it was in perfect shape. So I listed it yesterday, and I had a lady today. I had calls all day for this sewing machine, so I probably could have put a little bit extra money in it, but I'm not looking to steal money off anybody. I was just looking for a few dollars for my trip. And so this lady is coming in from the lake because it was Labor Day weekend, right? Everybody's shutting down their cottages and stuff, or taking their last weekend to enjoy a beautiful summer. And we had such a heat wave this week. Oh my goodness, back into the 30s, right? But anyway, this lady came over this afternoon, and I grabbed the bag and I went down and opened up the door for her. And I says, we can go into the little rec room here. You can take your time and you can test it out. And I didn't even think that maybe she didn't know too much. I thought she knew how to sew and stuff. And I said in my ad that I didn't know anything about it. I could take lots of pictures and stuff, but I didn't know anything about sewing. And she tore that thing apart. She couldn't figure, and she literally tore it apart, like all the bits and pieces, and this was unloose, and this was, oh, it was a mess. So we put it back in the bag and said, oh, thank you so much. Sorry that didn't work out for you. And she goes, oh, yeah, it was probably me. She couldn't feed the bobbin, right? So she left, and I brought it upstairs and went, oh my goodness, this was the big one for me. This is the one that everybody was phoning me and messaging me about, and $100 would go a long, $140 would go a long way towards having a great trip. On the 14th, I'm gone. I'm going on my trip this year. But any case, I said, okay, well, I had the manual. I says, I don't know anything about sewing machines. I don't. But I can read and I can follow instructions. And I piddled with that machine. Put everything back. I tore everything apart again. Then I slowly read the instructions to make sure that I got it right. And I failed again. Then I took it all apart and I did it again. And I read the instructions and I did it right. And then I got it all threaded and I said, okay, she said the bobbin was the problem. So I went into the bobbin tray and I'm looking at it and I go, oh my goodness, this looks like a puzzle to me for sure. But I followed the instructions in the manual and I fluked with it. I failed like a half a dozen times. And then I got it. I pulled up the bobbin thread. And I actually, well, took another couple of failures because I didn't know how to set the dials and stuff. But eventually, I got that sewing machine running. I got that sewing machine running, and I don't even sew. I don't even sew. So it's all set up. I left the thread, and I left it threaded. I left the bobbin thread out and everything. So a lady's going to call me tomorrow because she's also at the lake. And when she comes in, she wants to come in. She even offered to pay for it before she even sees it. But you know me, I would be like off to the store and I'd be buying the groceries for my trip. And I wouldn't have any money left if she didn't want the machine. I wouldn't be able to give it back to her, right? So I just said, no, just call me when you get back into town. But that's a guaranteed sale. I got that machine working by myself. And this woman thought she could sew. And oh my goodness, I did it all by myself. It took lots of failures, just like this microphone and setting this microphone up. It took lots of failures, but once you've got it, you've got it. And you know, this is a fairly new experience for me. I would have to say 3 or 4 years. I was probably in the lessons for a couple of years before I learned, you know, how important failing is in setting goals, right? It's like if you want to be in the Olympics and you want to win a gold medal, you just can't say, oh, I'm going to win a gold medal. I'm going to be in the Olympics and then get your gold medal and be in the Olympics. That's just not how it works. You have to put in the reps. You have to put into the work. And if you're willing, right? And in the beginning, you're not able, right? But if you put that work in, something or someone, right? And you're going to fail. But if you don't quit in your failures, if you don't take that Monopoly game and throw it up in the air and let all the pieces and the money go flying because you lost your hotels to somebody else and you throw in a fit and you decided to quit. And you ruin the game for everybody, not just yourself. You ruin the game for everybody, right? If you fail, that's okay. That's where the best lessons are. Now, I failed in something else. I didn't quite get it figured out. I tried. Oh, I was going to upload a video, one of my provincial parks that I did last year. I found it. It was dated in like 2022 or something. I don't know. Me playing with buttons last year. I lost a few of my parks. Lots of footage, right? So this year we're going to do much better because, again, it's in that failure. I don't want to do that again. And I know where I made my mistakes, right? But I did have some footage of Kettle Lakes, and that was a beautiful park. And I had some footage, and for the life of me, I couldn't find it. And then I went in and I couldn't find it. And actually, I didn't fail in that, right? It was just this lady came in to see the sewing machine. So I was with her for an hour. And by that time, I came back into my apartment. I spent the rest of the time figuring out, right? Prioritizing, figuring out the sewing machine, which I did. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow, well, tomorrow I'm going off with my sister. I have to drive her to the hospital. She's got to get some ultrasounds done. But and then we're going to do some thrifting. But I will be home tomorrow afternoon. And hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, I'll have some more appointments and people coming to see that sewing machine that I put together. That all they have to do now is put the fabric underneath. I even put the fabric underneath. All they have to do is turn it on and step their foot on the pedal and watch the stitches happen, because I did that. I did that. My own fault. I didn't, when I first took it down for that lady, I had to come back upstairs because I didn't even have a spool of thread, right? So I didn't know anything about machines. I didn't it didn't even cross my mind that it was going to need thread, right? I should have. Then I said, "Oh, do you want a pair of scissors?" I should have thought of a pair of scissors too. And in the end, I lost that sale. I lost that sale. That doesn't mean I failed in that, right? I'm not leaving for 2 weeks, right? Right? So I don't need that money in this minute, but I do want that money, and I will get that money now. But if I had said, "Oh, forget this. She couldn't get the bobbin going. She couldn't get it threaded. Oh, this stupid machine. I bought the machine. It was probably broken already because I didn't try it. It just looked brand new. It was in a nice bag and everything." Says, "Oh, I'll take that for $20. Thank you very much." Right? Then I put it up for $140, and I'm going to get my $140. Why? Because I didn't give up. That I just kept at it. And every time I failed, it just made me more determined to get it right. And I would have probably given it a fair shake. If I had been at it for 8 hours, I probably would have said, "Okay, that's it." Right? You put enough time into that. Go find something else to sell. Right? Failures make perfect. If you don't give up, if you just keep going, and every time you fail, you just stand up and brush your knees off and try it again, right? Try it again. One day, you might have that Olympic gold medal. And that's a nice, simple lesson for day. I'm here earlier than usual because I want to go for a walk. I need some fresh air. I need to bring myself down because in that failing, because failing is not fun, right? There's a lot of frustration in that. There's a lot of cheerleading. Oh, try it one more time, Cindy. Right? Try it one. Oh, you failed again. Try it one more. Oh, we'll just give it one more try. Right? But because I never gave up, in the end, I have my microphone going on, and I'll be back into my live when I come back with my coffee, and I'll sit here and I'll watch my live tonight to make sure that the sound is good, that I can carry on and use this microphone, that I got it all figured out, right? And maybe tomorrow, if the sound is good, I'll turn the fan on because, oh my goodness, really, it's a little bit suffering without that fan on me, especially when we're in a bit of a heat wave. It got again into the 30s again today. But not only did it get into the 30s, oh, that humidity. is a killer. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. It's going to cool off in the next few days, right? And hopefully by the time I leave, we'll have some beautiful fall colors in the trees so that when I drive into the valleys and up into the mountains, I have beautiful colored forests, right? Oh, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And if I get that $140 tomorrow for my sewing machine, I'm going to be so happy because that will be my coffee and my spending money because that's all I need now, right? That's all I need now. And we're going on this trip that I didn't think there was any possibility that it could happen. But because I said, okay, my sister's good, my sister's in recovery and she's rocking her recovery, right? We got her through that tough one and we got her through it with enough time for me to put a little holiday together. And we're doing 4 provincial parks this year, you guys. I'm so happy. And I'm doing 2 or 3 days in all those parks except for one. One park I just took just because I didn't want to have a long drive on the way home. So I picked just one night and one extra park. But beautiful spots. I even have a walk-in, you guys. So I got to get my walk-in tonight because I got to get myself in shape. Not like I'm going for that gold medal, but I am doing a 10-kilometer mountain trail rated difficult. And, I've done those long walks before, but I live in the prairies. Everything is like this. I'll be doing. I'll do the very best that I can, and I won't give up in that. I understand that if I just keep going, it'll happen for me. You guys, have a great night. I'm so grateful that Melvin came in tonight. So grateful that Eugene came in tonight. I'll be back tomorrow, right? And I'll let you know if I sold that sewing machine. Everybody, have a great night.